Imoca sailing in 3 words is passion, excitement and satisfaction. I grew up in New Zealand in a family with a long heritage of sailing. My father sailed across the Pacific before meeting my mother in New Zealand. My grandfather built yachts in the front garden of the house. Despite all this, I never imagined that I would be a professional skipper. I went to university and studied economics and political science and had a relatively normal route laid out in front of me. But I sold everything that I had and put wet weather gear in my backpack and went to Europe as soon as I had my university diploma, and decided that this was going to be my new life, that I was going to be a professional skipper. It was a conscious choice. I started my solo sailing career in 2009 by crossing the Atlantic Ocean in a mini transat, and I successfully made it to Brazil after a very short workup time, but then was able to graduate in 2010 to the Class 40, much bigger, more comfortable but also faster boat, and did the route to Rum on this platform. And then I was able to continue in this class and managed to go all the way around the world in 2011 and 2012 in a race called the Global Ocean Race. Being a skipper is a pretty exciting life, and I'm not just talking about being at sea, because even on land one has to be a great sportsman, a great businessman in terms of finding and then keeping and satisfying sponsors, and as well as being a manager of looking after your team and making sure that your employees are all happy, and all of this at the same time that you're preparing to go to sea and take on Mother Nature and all of its worst nightmares. There are a multitude of challenges, but it's a pretty exciting life. I'm extremely self-motivated because I love it when it's really hard and there are just challenges and opportunities to do all sorts of exciting stuff coming at me all the time. And I find it really inspirational when there's something that's particularly tricky or just totally overwhelming, that it doesn't seem evident as to how one can possibly overcome the problem at hand or keep going, and there could be a challenge that's physical or mental. When I'm not sailing, I'm preparing for sailing. I love endurance sports, and so I'm working my way towards swimming across the channel. I like endurance triathlon, and I'm always looking at pushing the boundaries and preparing for sailing whenever I can. My best and worst moments at sea are absolutely linked to the same moment. I was finally in the lead of a race coming into New Zealand. I had a head full of dreams about emulating my childhood heroes, and all of this was put into perspective when my co-skipper, Sam Goodchild, fell overboard. And so for 35 minutes I was in absolute hell, that I was working non-stop to try and look after the boat, make it so that I could get back to him, put in place a search grid, and then finally the best moment was when I caught sight of him again and was finally able to get him back on board.